So let's talk women, right? And men, because for anyone who wants to know why I talk the way I do about women, especially, right, it's because I hold women at a higher standard than I do men, right? Now, the reason why I hold women at a higher standard is because a woman is not like a man. A man is not like a woman, right? Obviously, right? But a woman is like a precious jewel, right? Any man who finds a woman who's a precious jewel, he treasures her. My braces make it hard for me to say a lot of words, so. But anyway, he treasures her, right? The reason why he treasures her is because she's clean, she's untouched, right? She's she hasn't been around, right? And the problem with a lot of women today in this modern day and age is that what they don't understand is that the reason why men are the way we are today is because women have allowed that, right? Women have become loose, sexually free, right? They think that that's what a man does. And so they think that's what a man does. That's what they want to do, right? Because they want to be equal. They think that I can walk into a subway station, walk up to a woman, put my hand on her crotch, and she's going to go home with me. Because they think that's how easy it is for men to get ass, right? And so for some reason, they've taken on that persona of a man, and now they're going out doing what they believe men do, right? You see, it's easier for a woman to go onto the subway, walk up to a man, put her hand on his crotch, and he go home with her, right? So it's easier for a woman to have sex than it is for a man. So for a woman to just think that her boyfriend or her husband is just sleeping around or laying around with any woman that comes around, that's just a little stupid, right? Now, don't get me wrong, ladies, that doesn't mean that that doesn't happen, because it does. We both know it does. But it happens both ways. Women do the same. Women are no different, right? And it's hard today to take a woman seriously when women these days don't know whether they're coming or going, right? They say they want a man who's got it made, right? Who drives the right car, who has the right job, who makes the right kind of money. But they also want him to be at home, tending to her, right? Treating her like a princess and a queen at home, but at the same time want him to go out and get that money, right? Because while he's out getting the money, she's at home bitching and complaining that he's never home. And then when he's home playing video games, she's bitching and complaining that he don't got a life, that he don't got a job, that he don't do nothing. And so a man can't win, right? And then when there's a regular everyday man, right, who works 9 to 5 and is at home every day and is able to give her what she wants, the time, and maybe not the fancy car she wants, but he's able to provide. You understand? He's able to do the things she needs. And so he works 9 to 5. He's at home. And it's not enough, because women want more. They don't want a man who works 9 to 5 and comes home, right? They want to make excuses for why they do the things they do, right? And so a man can't win. He can't. And a lot of the times a woman will change a good man into a bad man. A man who is dedicated to one woman will then become a man who will never dedicate himself to any woman, because most of the time his experience show him that women are not worth what he's been taught they're worth. Nowadays, women walk around with fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake nails, fake butts, fake breasts, fake everything, but they want a real man. Talking to a guy who has got his hat on Take your hat off so I can see your head, or so that I can see your hair, because women are so vain that they want to see if the man that they're talking to is worth her time, right? So she wants him to take off his hat so she can see his hair. But she won't take off her weave so he can see her hair. You see how ironic that is? She won't take off that weave that she's had on for a month so we could see what her hair looks underneath that nasty ass weave, but yet she wants a man to take off his hat so she can see what he looks like, so that she can see if he's worth her time. You see how women are? How ridiculous. Just imagine if I woke up to a woman and I like her, I think she's fine, I think she's cute. And I say to her, hey, sweetheart, why don't you take off your weave so that I can see what you look like underneath? Actually, I would love to say that, but we can't, right? But a woman can ask a man to take off his hat. And so, with all of the nonsense that is going on in this world today, or at least in this country, how confusing it is for a man to be a man, how confusing it is for a boy to be a boy, a woman to be a woman, and a girl to be a girl. Someone has to talk about these things, right? I have 4 daughters. I have 4 girls. And I've been around. I'm from the streets. I know what life is like outside of home and inside of home. And so I have experiences, and I've seen the things that I'm talking about. I'm not just making them up. You understand? And a lot of the times, a man wants to be good to a woman, but most of the time, when a woman gets annoyed with a man, she wants to leave. Annoyed. He didn't cheat, he didn't steal, he didn't break nothing, he didn't do nothing. She's just annoyed. She wants to leave. You see how easy it is for a woman to do these things? You know how many times I've been annoyed with a woman? Hell, I've gotten my lip busted open, and that wasn't enough for me to leave. I've gotten a bloody nose, that wasn't enough for me to leave. I've gotten stabbed, that wasn't enough for me to leave. I got hit with a bat, that wasn't enough for me to leave. But women get annoyed with their husbands who have been working for them for years, supporting their children, her children, and her previous relationship's child. And yet she has the nerve to leave him because she doesn't like the way he talks, or the way he walks, or the way he cooks, or the way this or this or that or that. You see how petty women are? And so I say the things I say, and I talk the way I talk. So hopefully the next generation of young ladies and young men can learn how to be gentlemen and gentle women. A woman, a young lady can walk like a young lady, and a young man can handle himself like a young man. And so this generation is confused. They're lost. It's ridiculous. And that's because of politics. That's because of the government, the agenda that they've tried to push on us and our children. And if someone doesn't speak against it, we're going to lose our children. And so this is why I talk the way I talk about women, because women shape the world. You don't have to listen. Look, when I say women shape the world, we all know that men build things. We all know that men put things together. But we also know that most wars in this world have been started because of a woman. Because of a woman. And I'm not talking about modern war today. I'm talking about ancient wars, right? For hundreds, if not thousands of years. Tribes against tribes, right? Nations against nations over what? A woman. It's always a woman. Samson and Delilah. Samson and Delilah, right? Samson lost his power to a woman because he trusted her. And because he trusted her, he told her his secret. And when he told her his secret, she capitalized, and in a bad mood, just like a typical woman, she betrayed him. You see, it's expected of a man to behave a certain way by women. And when women don't see that, when they don't see what they've expected a man to be, what they've been told by their parents, by their mother, their sisters, their aunts, their neighbors, the women across the street, that women are dogs. And when she gets with a real man and finds that he's not a dog, she needs to justify why she wants to cheat, or why she cheated, or why she should leave or should not stay. Because even though he's not a dog, she's annoyed. One of his eyes is a little crooked. One of his earlobes is longer than the other. It's always some bullshit. It's the truth. I mean, look at modern day America today. Women only leave the majority of times because they are simply annoyed. They just don't like it. They are just bored. They are just tired. Here I am getting my ass kicked for some 15 years. I took the beatings because I didn't want to lose my daughter, because I wanted to be a part of her. And I knew that if I didn't bend over, then I wouldn't have the opportunity to see my daughter. So I had to take it. That's what a man does. But a woman packs her shit up and she leaves when most of the time it's not the man's fault. And I'm not saying that a woman who leaves a man who is violent, who is physical, who is abusive is wrong, that she shouldn't leave. That's not what I'm saying. There's an exception to every rule. Okay? What I'm saying is that most of the time women are petty. Look, I have this follower, right, who comments on my videos, the ones that I talk about women, and she really gets angry at me. She gets offended, right? She's really sweet. Real woman, real wife, real mother. One of those women that come once in a lifetime, right? Her sister, her mom, amazing family, right? Of women. And every time she watches me talk the way I do on video, she leaves a comment, right? And it seems like she's trying to defend herself when she has no reason to, none, right? Because I know her story, right? I know how she stood by her man while he was doing to her what the other woman was doing to me, right? I'm getting my ass kicked. I stayed because of my daughter. She's being abused. She's dealing with nonsense. She's dealing with bullshit. And she stayed because she was a real woman and didn't want to separate the family. We still have women like that today. But those kind of women are rare. Those kind of women are not the norm anymore. And those type of women, men don't want. Just like women don't want men like me, right? You know why a man doesn't want a woman like this woman who is faithful, who's good, who's amazing, and all of the things that make a woman? You know why men don't want women like her? Because it's too easy for us to find women everywhere else and just leave and jump from another to another to another to another to another, because women are just like men today, or what they believe a man is. They're not like us. They just think that's what we do. So they make it so easy for us to walk into a candy store and grab whatever we want, whenever we want, whatever flavor, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and so on and so on. And so because these women make it so easy for men to pick and choose, when you have a sweet woman standing by herself, the odds of her being picked out of a crowd is really hard. And so a lot of the times a woman like that might think, where are all the good men? Most good men have been turned out by bad women. And trust me, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I'm not from this day and age. I'm not from this era. I'm from an era when men were men. Young boys already at 11, 10, 9 years old, we were men. We were men already. That's why by 19, I already knew how to support a family. That's the difference between this generation and the last generation. And the problem today is that it's the media, it's the government, it's the news. It's like this is a social experiment to see how far this this sonar, this sound that they are emitting through the air, through cell phone, through television, through social media, to try to see if they can manipulate the people by simply saying some trigger words on television, on social media, spread them around through the news, through everywhere, right? Newspapers, you name it, right? And get us to war against each other, get the boys confused, the girls confused, the parents to lose their power, right? And so there's a lot going on that's affecting this whole generation and why they the way they are today, and why women are no longer women and why men are no longer men. Because a dog is a dog and a horse is a horse. I can ride a horse. I can't ride a dog. And so I'm a man and a woman is a woman. And a woman can ride me, but I can't ride her. You see how nature works? You see that there's a difference between a man and a woman. Huge differences, whether physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. We're different. And a man expects something that's opposite than what he is from a woman, and woman vice versa, whether they imagine that or not. It's nature. This is why a lot of women who are interested in other women are attracted to butch-like women, are attracted to masculine women, because the woman is naturally attracted to masculinity. It's just that simple. And so, look, ladies, this is a subject that's becoming really, really, really viral, really hot on YouTube today, where men are standing up and talking about good women and bad women. This is not a channel where I'm talking about all women as being the same. That's not how it is, right? But if you go on YouTube and you think I'm the only one talking this way, you're going to find that men are getting tired. We're getting tired of having our families taken from us by a woman who, out of spite, wants to hurt us. We're tired of a woman cheating on us and having us raise their children, right? Who the man had no idea the child was his. If he knows the child isn't his from the beginning and he chooses to stay, that's his business. No one else's. But he needs to have that option. And a lot of the times a woman doesn't give a man that option. And so men, at the end, we lose all the time. We always lose. Women are always talking about women's rights. You have all the rights. Just go to court, family court, right? Stand there by your husband, divorcing him, accusing him of something, and watch 100% the judge side with you. 100%. It's always on the side of the woman. Always. Because if I have my children, right, and I'm the head of household, and I work and I support my children and my family, and the woman is at home taking care of the kids, and then she wants to leave because according to her, I don't spend enough time with her. I don't spend enough time with the kids, but she wants to live in a mansion. She wants the rent paid. She wants her cell phone paid. She wants to get her hair done, her nails done. She wants to go to the salon. She wants to drive that fancy car, right? But he doesn't spend enough time with her. So she leaves, she takes the babies, and she divorces him, and the judge says to him, you got to give her half your shit. But if it was vice versa, and he was standing at home, taking care of the kids, like I did, I didn't receive child support. But women want to be like men. They want the same rights. Okay, then pay your child support. You left. And I'm not talking about abuse. I'm not talking about a woman who's being abused who has to leave. Because if you got to leave, girl, you need to leave. You know what I'm saying? Right? So you need to leave. But most of the time, that's not the reason. And so it's time that men start to speak up. Let the women know exactly what we think and how we feel. This generation, my generation of parents, for some reason, are raising a generation of little hoes when it comes to girls and little pussies when it comes to boys. I don't understand what's going on. My generation grew up just fine, independent, strong, self reliant, good providers, physically, mentally, emotionally strong, where we know when we got to get down to support and protect our family, we can do both. But today we're raising a generation of boys who don't know if they're boy or girl, who wear women's clothes, right? Who do things that feminize them, and the parents encourage it because according to the television, the TV, and everything that's being put out there, that sound that they're emitting through the air to control us is telling us that that's how we should do it. And I'm saying no. I'm not doing it like that. I'm not going to allow a woman to disrespect me. I'm not going to allow a woman to mistreat me. I'm not going to allow a woman to put her hands on me. I'm not going to allow a woman to cheat on me. I'm not going to allow a woman to do anything that I wouldn't do to her. I will pay her rent. I will take care of her children that aren't mine if I have to. But if I have to leave my own house, my own place, my own apartment, and leave everything behind with her in it, I will do that. Before I put my hands on her, before I do anything that's out of my character, or before I allow her to do to me what I've had to endure for the sake of my daughter. And this is something that goes both ways. It's not just the guys doing the abuse, it's the women. Because most of the time, I was abused. Right? Now, the word abuse sounds a little soft, right? I'm just using the terminology that's being used today by the soft generation who is always offended by everything. So I'm going to drop the word abuse because she didn't abuse me. I just allowed her to get angry and put her hands on me and do whatever she needed to do. I had to take it for my daughter's sake. And I did. And when my daughter was old enough to choose me and she chose me, and it was just me and my daughter, then there was no reason for me to take it anymore. It was time for me to bounce. And that was it. Never saw her again. And my daughter, I just saw her downstairs today. You see, ladies, it's not that hard to be a parent. It's not that hard to be a mother. It's not that hard to raise children, or that bullshit you guys are always talking about, how hard it is to be a mother, a parent, how hard to be a stay-at-home mom. Is it really hard to be a stay-at-home mom, to cook one meal a day, to put your kid in front of the television while you throw your laundry into the washer and dryer and sit in front of your television and watch your soap operas, and then put the baby to fall asleep for a nap and continue your chit-chatting on TikTok and Facebook and all that? That's how hard being a parent is, because I was a single parent to 4 girls. And it wasn't hard at all. And I do it all over again. You know why it wasn't hard? Because when you love your kids, it's not hard wanting to be around them. But when you don't like being a mother, and you hate being a mother, and you had children out of wedlock, and you don't have support from the people who are angry at you for getting knocked up by some dude you just met yesterday, by the same people who are angry at you because they told you not to do these things. And so now you hate your life. You're angry at yourself. You're angry at being a mother. And now you're taking it out on your children. And so you're always bitching and complaining. Because even women who are married and who have children and who have a man who supports them and takes care of them are always complaining about how hard it is to be a mother. When I went to work full time, dropped my kids off to school, took a break from work, picked them up from school, dropped them off at home, made them a sandwich, went back to work, finished my day, went back to cook, and did that every day while taking my daughter after school to Girl Scouts, the youngest. How hard is it to love your children, ladies? How hard is it to love your husband and to keep the family together? It's not that hard. But when you're greedy, when you're selfish, when you think you have a choice, when you think you're a 10, when you think you're worth more than what you're worth, and everyone that looks at you is bent out of shape, and then you wonder why you can't find a good man, it's because you're not worth his time and you're not up to his level or his standards. Just like some women won't date a short man and they will only date a tall man, some men won't date fat women. Just like a woman won't date an ugly guy, a guy won't date an ugly woman. But for some reason today, every woman is a 10 and they want a man who makes $500,000 or more, as if though they're worth that. Nobody wants to just be a woman or a man or a regular person. Everybody wants to be special. And it's time that people heard the truth. It's time that women heard the truth. It's time that men, these weak punks who have penises but no balls. A woman said that to me once. You have a penis but no balls. That's funny, right? Is that cute? But a lot of the times a woman will meet a good man and lose him because she doesn't know how to talk. She don't know how to talk. And most of the time, especially, and I'm keeping it real, especially the black women with all this ghetto ass bullshit, thinking it's cute, right, to insult a man or to put down a man or try to be more than a man. It's always some bullshit. And it's not just, when I say the blacks, it's not just blacks. I mean Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Haitian. You understand, people? Us, the minorities, we don't know how to act. We don't know how to act. And so it's time that someone said it. It's time that someone told the ladies, you don't know how to act. And this is why you're single. This is why you can't find a man. This is why most men won't marry you. Because when you find something that is good, that's special, and that's kind to you, you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to handle it. And because you don't know what to do with it, you find it suspicious and you start attacking it like you've attacked everyone else or how other men have attacked you. And so you don't know a good thing when you see it. And so there was a time when a man chased a woman when he cared about her, when he loved her. And that was normal. That was encouraged by their friends, right? We would say, hey, write her a note. Oh, do you want me to send her a message? Tell me what you want me to tell her and I'll tell her, right? That's how we used to do as kids, right? When we liked the girl. But today you're a punk if you do that. It's embarrassing. Dude, it's embarrassing you sending her flowers. It's embarrassing you going up to her door knocking and asking to talk to her, to see her. It's embarrassing that you're calling her parents and asking her parents to forgive you if you may have hurt their daughter because you love her and you want to be with her. You should be embarrassed as a man to be doing that. That's what they want you to believe today. You see how ironic life is today? What they find weak? Because to me, that's strong. A man who loves a woman and chases after her. It works both ways. And so, this is why I say the things I say. I say them the way I say them. And hopefully somebody, maybe one person out of the small amount of people who watch me will get it. And maybe they can save their daughters, or maybe they themselves can understand why men do the things we do. why we see things the way we see them, why we say things the way we say, and why we are the way we are. If a woman is worth a man's time, it doesn't matter what kind of a man he is. He could be a serial killer, and he will treat you like the sharpest knife in the tool shed. He will treat you like you're the only thing that matters to him. Because when a man loves a woman, he goes all out. That's a special kind of feeling for a man. That deep kind of love that comes once in a lifetime for a man. And when a man loves a woman, he loves her and only her, and he loves her one time. And once he loses that love, he'll never love her again or anyone else like her. And it's hard for a man to love another woman the way he once loved his one true love. That's how a man loves. That's how deeply and hard he puts his time into a relationship. And I'm not talking about every man, because we know that that's bullshit when it comes to us men the majority of times. But again, women, ladies, you created the monster, because it wasn't always like this. That's this generation. And that's not to say that men never cheated back then, some 100, 200 years ago. That's not to say that men have cheated for thousands of years. It will always be. But I'm talking about today. There's a reason why we are the way we are. Because women have the power to change us. You like what you see now? You guys made us.